Jason Faulkner, just giving you another slice of uninterrupted video of my place I'm selling or partially trading so I can fund my expedition to the Keys and my business coup for my fabulous developed products that are being neglected by the oligarch, which is nothing less than a sadist overlay of everything in the society. They don't let any outsiders participate until their organization is thoroughly saturated in any scenario, such as the internet is a fine example. They were so dead set serious they used the government to dictate that no one shall use the internet for 10 years until they've thoroughly ironed out and saturated all their groups of mass molestation and innuendo into the internet. I myself was in school at the time, 8th grade, and happened to be near enough to the heart of the oligarch that they got a computer lab, one of the nation's first. And the abusive staff of that school, who really didn't give a shit about the computer lab, because they were already enriched through other nefarious means of membership, happened to turn it into the detention center, and they had thoroughly abused me enough at that point. I was openly rebelling against them. So one of many trips to detention, I was left alone in their new computer lab with the 5 brand new Mac computers or Googie computers or whatever they were. And being left alone on the 3rd day, I walked over to them after being thoroughly warned not to touch them. And I fucked with them all as I could, or at least a few of them. You know, I didn't tear them apart or nothing. I just pecked on them and seen if the gods would bestow upon me some sort of relief, and they never did. So until now, when it's the same MO, too old, too late, and don't give a fuck. Anyway, they threatened my life over that incident, and all I did was peck on the keys. I didn't harm their precious computers, but the plans, they know the cues of their oligarch, And the most fearful thing among their oligarch, and these oligarchs are the ginger snaps, the blacks, and any large group of Chinese communists or Russian communists or whatever infiltrators they can prop up and fund with not valuable money, but just simply printed monopoly money, which is what money really is. Just an entity that they make and dictate by creed that, they're the ones that get to say who has the money and who don't. And the most fearful thing at the heart of their oligarch, their Orwellian construct, is making ripples, waves. Deviating from the mission of the oligarch, which is led by the Trumpisms and the Putinisms and whoever else isms they can compete on that high level of a platform. And, not many can, but they don't have to, because among their lower echelons, these people are propped up and projected as very stable pillars of society, even though they really don't affect nothing at the core. They have the new house. They are the sheriff and the police and the attorneys and the doctors and any fancy thing, the sports stars, the singer stars, and anybody that they can hoist up on a pillar, basically, and give them the authoritarian power to run their society's micromanaged saturation of oligarch only and foremost, and everything else obscured. There's my pillar. and this is my gift from the gods, whom in the afterlife are probably sitting up there quivering that they might make a ripple too, because it carries over. But I'm not worried about your ripples or their ripples or whatever any of you come predetermined with, which everything will. I'm just about the objective. My objective, and whatever else can go to hell. You can go to hell, your objectives can go to hell, your programming can go to hell, your new Superman movie, which is nothing but another Fallout Boy angular production, it can go to hell. And that's it. And, you know, what this video is about, again, I'll draw your nose right back in a circle. Getting rid of this property, my car, which I love, but it isn't going to get me any further to my objective, which is to get rich off my developments, because the gods are up there quivering, and nothing I can do will change that, and the people that'll come up to me will be quivering, and the cops and the doctors and the sports stars, freaks, and the fakers that fake their deaths, or maybe they actually willingly accept death. Who knows? I don't care. Don't want to know. But I do know that the future of this regime, and that's to carry forth their control. And it's sports betting folks and these high-priced sports star scumbags. That suits their narrative fine, because they don't have to excuse any of it. And they've got a great vice to ply and pry and manipulate the rest of their morons with sports betting. It's cheap, cost-effective, and fun and friendly. And they're going to give you big money if you win small money. It's just another scam. But a big enough thing to kill each other over the control of who gets those proceeds. And the new drug cartels, you know, that black scumbag who's going to inject herself in her commercial and swear that your lazy fat ass can get skinny by being a doper too, and never have to move that big broad ass off the chair or couch or wherever you prefer, or that diner stool or whatever, Applebee's. And there it is, you know, addictions and draws to appease the privileged affirmative action conduit, and all that's not my narrative. I work and innovate and slave and do whatever I got to do to get ahead. I'm Shop Weasel, by the way, and I will do weaselly shit if I have to, if I'm paid enough. And I'm pretty smart and intelligent and good about whatever I got to do. But for now, I think I'm satisfied and content with what I've developed. What I'm not content about is the ignorance and mutation, the mutable effort that I've given has been muted. And I think all sorts of stuff. But to be honest, I think it's still muted on the community level locally here. That's the kind of power that they're given. Absolute power. Absolute corruption and absolute power. I'd like to think Donald Trump himself says, no, not him, but even though I was at the heart of his regime back in 1984, 85, 86, 90, whatever, suffering the same shit. Doubt the dude knows me. Probably wouldn't admit it if he did. Could care less if he does. But the local scumbaggery, I'm sure they have the authoritarian power to mute me before my message even gets out of the community. Before it gets 5 miles out. Yep. Maybe 10 miles. Who knows? But at that point, the rest of them are hibernated in their programming and sophistry. But I don't know. I don't know what goes on. I could care less. I know what I want to do, and I've been here 18 years, and I'm not spending another winter here. And if I have to sell my soul to the devil, it's on the block. If I have to go to extremism and radicalism and do bad things, I'm willing to, but I haven't yet. Not really. I'm wanting to do good things, and I've got this great car. I've got my products, my shopping bag holders, the UFO Shiner probe. And I know where the Florida Keys is, living in Florida for 22 years. And I've got that same feeling those last days that I left Florida that I have now. It's time to cut this motherfucker loose. Even against all the oppressive tyranny and criminalistic bullshit that they've tried to subject me to and have and harm. And do so with an arrogance that I ain't shit. But I'm about to prove them wrong, hopefully. Maybe not. But I'm going to start by getting myself down to Florida before the winter sets in. I'm abandoning all of this, my beautiful little friends, the animals and nature here that have grown to know me. They'll have a new master here, I guess, because I'm leveraging this place and my car with 84,000 miles to get more situated to what I can survive long term down there and enjoy myself and do what I need, which is to break through all the immovable predetermination that these scumbags have me assigned, which is regardless of what I do or accomplish, I shall not gain an inch, not earn a dollar, not succeed. But yet, even though I miss my greatest successes, be pretended upon as if I ain't done shit. And I can assure you, I've done plenty. And I'm still going at it. And there it is. It's that simple. So my name's Jason Faulkner, a.k.a. Shop Weasel. The address of this place is 1289 Indian Creek Road, Thornhill, Tennessee, 37881. And I won't sit still and wait for them to come in and take another blow at me like they're growing accustomed to doing. They're trying to acclimate themselves to feel comfortable enough to publicly harm me. And that ain't part of my plan. Part of my plan is to point out what kind of sorry son of a bitch and scumbags these people at large really are and have grown accustomed to being, because they uphold a greater good amongst their ideology of sports betting, paying these black molesters and Latino molesters and white molesters and these cherry top ginger snaps unwielding powers and successes to carry their narrative of scumbaggery and abuse and drug use, and even the doctors and the whoever, it doesn't matter who. It's everywhere. Well, they're actors and this and that, whoever. Singers, rappers, scumbags at large, because it's just a big cabal of that. And I'm just me. I'm Jason Faulkner, a.k.a. Shop Weasel, and I'm ready to get down to the Keys and make money if I can. Travel up and down the whole seaboard like Donald Trump did. When you're motivated, you do things like that. And regardless of who says you can't, you still do it. Smile and say bug off and keep going your own way, and that's what I'm going to do. That's my direction. And work my way into the better and successful stuff. Regardless. So my phone number is 423-231-2241. I'm wielding even if I had to, the shop weasel products themselves, which I hopefully don't have to, because I can do this just with the car and money, or I can dump the car for a minivan with low miles and some money and do it with a Honda Run Quiet or a Craftsman Run Quiet generator and a kayak, or a skiff. But I could do it in style too by dumping the property and getting a skiff or a cuddy cabin with a newer Yamaha 50 horse, or anything that I feel like I'm willing to try. What I'm not willing to try is to be pushed into the bosom of a molester, our regime of sorry son of a bitch and terrorists, which most of these government people are, and expecting them to take care of my needs. That's never going to happen either way. Either from my perspective or theirs. They're not there to baby you, because they're babying the affirmative action conduit. And that includes street level scumbags, criminals, cartels, oversight committees and boards and HOA groups and whoever else, mission, group missions. Well, it's not my mission. My mission is for my own self success. I think your missions can be changed. And I think my missions cannot be ignored or paralyzed. My mission is my goals, and your mission is to maintain the HOA sternness of trying to keep the keys, for an example, set in an Orwellian time capsule when it has already degenerated and recollapsed and collapsed again. And that architectural style, I think it's tacky as hell. It no longer suits our modern narrative of people building glass high-rise houses or modern concrete structures that are safe. Your tacky little cottage idealism of a perverseness, of hot pink flamingos and baby blue powder, whatever. It don't suit my needs. It's not appealing to me. It looks ugly. And your little nook, your Londonism nook cottage industries, a house of 1,000 little boxes that all might contain something scary or a little too private. I don't like going into those things. That's sort of that, right back to that Monopoly Fallout Boy scheme. It's so fun to crawl through their 1,000 doors. But when 999 of them contain a molestation, just so you might smile and have a few good moments, and that one door that might be different, I don't care about it. I know where the grocery store is. I know I'd rather be out in nature in the open water looking at the neat higher creations of all of it, and proofing my my own advent, the UFO Shiner probe, and keeping my shopping bag holders thrust in the face of everyone I can, as creatively as I can, because that's a numbers game there. We use 1 trillion shopping bags a year globally, and to have this oligarch pretend like me innovating this multi-tool that isn't relying on that foremost to cram another global warming moment down your throat, but as a subsidiary, as it's good to recycle, and it works so well. The most important message about this is that you're going to have a smile on your face while you use it. And it's going to satisfy you no matter what you try to use it for. probably will put a smile on your face. You know, you get some of these sadistic derangos, and yeah, they're maintaining their own sophistry of, what was I saying? Their own sophistry of, pressing your buttons, and yeah, they'll grab one and try to load it up with red bricks or something, and then cry like the TDLR, toddler Trump mentality that they have at their core, and they put their diaper on and cry and do that full ginger snap, but whatever, or that full black wig out, you know, didn't do nothing, been wronged, that guy's this or that, this one ain't, should be, but whatever. But most of you, in the privacy of your own confines, will pick it up in your hand and smile and say, you know, I'm saving time and it's doing what I want. The guy did a good job building it. Now, if I sell it out and the oligarch gets it in their hands, they'll put that bullshit glue on it that one side falls off, and they'll point their finger and say, see, it really ain't that hot of a product. It's shit. And that's the way the oligarch does it, but whatever. If I sell it out, I'll be satisfied either way. Or I can partner with people, businessmen, women, business children, who knows? Don't care. Either way, my main goal is to get this to success for my own interest, and it's worthy to be in your interest. So on so many levels, you know, you're not going to get your hands dirty fucking with it. You know, the bags are sterile. We use 1 trillion of them a year. They work so well. Well, this works just as well. The Shop Weasel shopping bag holders, as does the UFO Shiner probe. It's got a similar history, you know. I've never caught a shiner off a damn thing in my life except the UFO Shiner probe, to be honest with you. So there it is. Jason Faulkner, the address of this fine, fabulous, tranquil place is 1289 Indian Creek Road, Thornhill, Tennessee 37881. It's in a safe neighborhood that does have nuts and it has the scumbags. Does your neighborhood not? I doubt it. Your neighborhood has the same as mine. No difference. But what you don't have is, you know, a lot of stuff that yours might have. What you do have here is lots of beautiful wildlife. It's safe, quiet, convenient. They maintain the roads very well in the winter, and there's seldom snowfall. There's more snowfall in the nearest town than there is here. I've noticed that. Back to the car. It's got 84,000 miles. It had 81,000 miles when I got it. And yeah, it's got things you can knock. The doors have been skinned bare on the insides. I've got 3 power window motors, but yeah, am I going to ask you people out there, hey, rebuild the doors? No, I'm going to say go find a car of the same color and pull the doors off and bolt them on. It's only 6 bolts. Plug the 2 wires in on each side and you're good to go. Back seat's been gutted. I've got the back seat back and the bottom seat still in there, but I couldn't figure out the science, the way they installed this, so I just ripped the shit out. It looks good though. The paint's shiny. See that shiny paint? You do whatever you want with it. It's a sound, reliable, fun sports car, or it's a GT, but it's sedanish. It's got a trailer hitch. You can pull a jet ski or a boat. I can too. And I've got this carrier on it, which wasn't just put on there, but all these extra elaborate components and pieces I bought individually new and put on them, such as the sway stabilizer brackets. There's 2 of them. Believe me, it's a lot floppier without them. It was flip-flopping, but it don't now. It looks decent. It works. And it's got a real U-Haul hitch made for this car. Taking off a car like it on there that was like new, which is damn near impossible to find. It's like finding a golden needle in a haystack. So I've got a clear title. It's my daily driver when I have money to drive it, you know. Which today I'm going back to Morristown to try to do my laundry, because they've oppressed me enough to keep me from having any normalcy here like everywhere else they've chased me around with. But I'm still here and going on, so got my little bit of stuff to wield. I have a warranty deed for this place. But there's 2 acres. I'm selling this 1 acre. They've already got an agent on my other acre. Deep state guy. And that's what it is, you know. But we can sign enough paperwork, I'm sure, to satisfy you. You know, and probably that no matter what the scenario, with certain paperwork, you can paralyze this place forever and keep the electric on and whatever. Me, I can go to the Keys before winter, get whatever I can get, which is going to be harder for me to do than harder for you to be here. And to satisfy what I want to do, that's going to be a harder thing for me than you being here, or whatever you want to use it for. There's no restrictions here. It's got this nice area already developed. It's got a nice driveway that you'll always have access with. But you never know, you know. You'll be in a new competition with a new Fallout group here. And believe you me, they will predate on you here just like they will wherever you're at. So we all know the score. It is what it is. And I'm doing what I'm doing. So my phone number is 423-231-2241. I gotta go do my laundry today. I tried yesterday, and the laundry place I prefer to use had a gas leak. So I went to several other laundromats, and I used their big front load washing machine for $4.50 with an extra rinse. Every other place has been rigged with gaffetry. $6.25, and you don't get an extra rinse. And you got the ginger snaps crawling all over it like a ghetto. Nah, not for me, boys and girls. Not only the ginger snaps, but the Mexicalis, and you know, I have nothing against people. You're all robots either way. Whatever. As long as it ain't a laundromat full of blacks, because they've been allowed the power of extremism to cause public violence and harm, just like the cops. It's a paired criminal partnership. But then they repaired everything else into the pairs, and before you know it, it's just a recognizable same evenness throughout society of corruption and affirmative action conduit, led by the same bloated, bloviated bloaters and game masters, which are just open public retards, such as Donald Trump and whoever they pretended to shoot last week. Same thing. Yeah, WWF bullshit, whatever. Maybe he really took a bullet to the schnoz. Who knows? Maybe he didn't. It doesn't matter. He was willing, whatever it was. Had to have been. Like Donald Trump, you know. They shot me in the ear. Whatever. Who cares? I don't even believe he's real. I've seen him drive up and down A18 a thousand times back in the 80s in his white Cadillac. Yeah, I think it's just another super Orwellian overlay of everything, because we don't know much in this world. And I don't want to know much, because what you see on the surface is pretty damn, creepy, ugly, especially if you're me. And you see the attitude of these people. Willing participants in a Fallout Boy style affirmative action conduit. And creepiness, don't tread on me, and yet you interact with any one of these people and you just want to stomp all over them. Just for the sake that they're the same shit as X, Y, or Z, or ABC, or whatever. Or your own family members, same shit. So, I'm friendly, professional, approachable, very patient, because, they wean out and exploit any deficiency they find in you to control you, to manipulate you, to further their interest in you, which, and me, it's to destroy my life. And they have a hard time doing that anymore, because I stay busy, and I know to ignore their bullshit regardless, and every day I'm capable, and they're not standing in my face. I'm going to keep marching on to do better and succeed. And that's my destiny. And not being here this winter, that's my choice. So, holler if you're interested in anything. Thank you.